Hello, and welcome to Nano Battle. Today we'll be playing with the Broken Rumble Pack. This is one of 5 Rumble Packs available on nanobattle.com. Everything you see here is with this Rumble Pack, including the Broken Nanofield card that tells you all about the nanofields that this pack contains. We have our 2 Wrecker Nanoids with their ID cards and spark gauges with their counters already in place. We also have our operator's guidebook and 2 sets of 6 operator cards with their matching dice. And then we also have 2 experience mode cards, which we won't be using in this match today. These experience mode cards contain the Wise and the Ruthless personas. And these are to level up your nanoids in other modes, or just in experience mode if you want to add new moves and different tactics to your match. And with our Nanoid faction card, it's an optional advanced role card on the back, which introduces faction rivals, where your rivals will receive more damage from each other versus others on the field. And with these nanoids, this pack is unique in that the Wrecker nanoids are Chaos faction, and Chaos faction's unpredictable. They copy their target's faction and use any faction if the target is also Chaos. So in this match, these 2 nanoids will be able to activate their Ultra command on any of the faction fields versus each other. So let's get started. We always start by rolling the dice to see who will place their nanoid down first. Please remember that the dice indicate how fast something is reacting in nanoseconds, so lower is almost always better. So we get to place our Black Wrecker first, and we'll go ahead and place the Wild White Wrecker here. Remember, in a solo match, a wild nanoid is doing its own thing per the command card, but you still need to decide where it will go and, of course, move it while playing the match. Okay, so let's take our command cards and select which command to set first and activate. Let's go ahead and go with our Super, which is Hammer Thrust. And Wrecker's skill is Ricochet. Whenever he armor checks, all adjacent nanoids receive -1 spark. So the armor is heavy and it bounces a lot. So let's see. The White Wrecker is going to run. Because the number is lower, they will activate their card first. For run, a wild nanoid targets the closest face down hex. If there are none, they'll target their faction node. So let's just go straight to the center. And they land on a glitching node, which is a Broken Nanofield's unique node. With this one, anytime it's revealed or moved onto or over during an activation, you need to roll the dice and see what to apply. So on here, we activated 5, it's Siphon, so they lose 1 spark from that node. And you'll notice that the broken nodes do not have any power nodes active. They are broken down, and instead we have Chaos with everything glitching out. Alright, now we will activate our Super. The Super is Hammer Thrust. It's attack with a push. So we'll be pushing pushing the opponent any direction 1 hex away. If we're unable to, they would receive 1 damage instead, as if we were hitting them against the edge of the arena. So our attack is +1 on 3. So the opponent will always have to do an armor check. We roll the dice. Their armor saves, so that's armor is 2, so he only receives 1 damage, and because it armor checked, we will also receive 1 damage because we're adjacent. Let's go ahead and push this nanoid to another nano field. And they hit another glitching node, so let's roll for them. And it's a 6, so they have power down. So that only would matter if they were actually activating at the time, but that would be -2 power to their activation. Okay, let's go ahead and select another command card. This time we will use our, let's go ahead and use our Ultra, because we are on a faction node. And our opponent uses their Super, which is Hammer Thrust. So they will activate first, and it's range 2. You always just count the hexes, and if you can reach them within the count, they're within range. You don't have to deal with line of sight in Nano Battle. This makes it quicker. So their attack and push +1, they're going to activate on that glitch node, so they have to roll first. It is power down again, so it's -2 power, so it is only 1, and they're going to push. So they'll be pushing us against the wall. They can't push us any farther, so we will receive 1 damage automatically. And then let's see if we can avoid the 1 damage with our armor. And we can't, so we do receive another point of damage. Now we will activate our Ultra attack. We did armor check this activation, so it is +2. And this is attack all and push within range 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 damage plus a push. So the push will automatically give them 1 less. And let's see if we can knock them out. Oh, and we can't. We get 2 damage instead with their armor check. So they're at 2 sparks remaining. All right, let's pick our next command. Run super. Let's go ahead and dash. And they will attack. Okay, so let's go ahead and dash away from them to make sure that we're not within range. And let's roll for the glitching node. That's a 4, so it's siphon. We lose 1 spark on this node. And then they will activate their attack even though they are out of range. See what happens for the glitching node. And that is 2. They would have powered up, but they're out of range. So when they activated, it says if the target is not in range, a wild nanoid will instead guard. So they'll get +1 armor, and their armor check will fail on 5+ instead of 4+ for their next activation. Let's go ahead and run for our next command. And they will use Mega. And because they are not on a faction node, they cannot use their Ultra attack. And so their Mega is dash, attack, push. So pretty much anywhere we are, they are going to get us. So let's run to the center just so we don't get that extra push damage. And then we'll roll to the glitching node. Siphon again, so we lose 1 spark. And their Mega is dash, attack, push. So they will go ahead and dash towards us, but not before their glitch node. And that's 2, which means they power up +2. And then they will dash to here, which is another glitching node. So they would roll again. And that's -1 to their spark. So they get +2. That's 3, 4. And then 1 last roll. They do not get the extra damage. And that's good because they would have knocked themselves out with this body slam. So dash, attack, push. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. And so let's go ahead and armor check. And it's 4, so we failed. And we KO'd. But the ricochet did hit them. So this would be an instance of a tie. Both of the nanoids got knocked out within the same activation. So that was a very close match, as you can see. And we're still under 10 minutes. In this instance, I would definitely want a rematch if I was playing against someone else. In a story mode match, you would do an injury check and the match would conclude itself at a tie. And then you would hope that your nanoid would recover and not be lost to the nanoverse in story mode. If we were playing with experience mode, we would have the Ruthless and the Wise persona. And then these two give quite a few variations of the different moves that you would do. So like your dodge would become a Savage Ambush, where you would run and attack but lose some life in the process, or you would dodge and attack as a Wise persona. And then we have a lot of movement, extra guarding and healing with being Wise, whereas the Ruthless persona has a lot more attacks but at the cost of more damage to themselves. So it's flavorful and makes sense to the type of personality that the nanoid is using when it's leveling up and gaining experience. And these experience mode cards are used heavily in the story mode pack, which is this pack right here. It's 60 cards that contain arenas, encounters, and nano gear, as well as different mode cards, all built around this core experience with the Rumble pack. And it has you setting up the arenas in different ways, fighting against different nanoids in different situations, including different objective matches where you need to find something or get something out of the nanofield arena with your operator. And then the last pack that you would need to play that mode would be a wild nanoid pack. And this contains 6 random nanoids that you would use in any mode that you would want to build your team out, or use them as the wild nanoids that you would face in the narrative adventure mode. And that's all for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. This is the last Rumble Pack playthrough that we have at the moment. You can check on the other 4 to see the way they play differently with the different nanoids and the way the fields interact with them. You can see all of this and more at nanobattle.com, where we still have our Founders Pack available that gives you a discount on the 3 core packs to start, and including a bag to put it all in. Thank you all again for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and thank you.